Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the property call. So I'm going to do the quick introduction. I've got Andrew, who's the influencer within the industry. I've got Stuart, who's a solicitor down in London with 120 staff. Ian Crampton, estate agent locally in Birmingham. Dave Grigg, the financial advisor. Sammy, another estate agent in the Harborne area, very proficient online. And Michael, who's the mortgage advisor that works closely with us throughout Birmingham. So thank you guys for coming on board. I thought it'd be really nice to get some interesting facts and some conversation going on what's going on in the industry from all the angles that everyone's seeing at the moment. So from obviously the buying through to the selling through to the estate agencies. So first off, obviously we've been reading in the news, no doom and gloom on this call, but we have been reading in the news that CBRE have said that the property prices are going to plummet. Ian, over to you. You're probably key to start with this one.
Well, yeah, I think in the here and now, we've seen that lenders forcing those buyers who are keen to sell right now. They've really put a downer by changing their policies. So where people's mortgage offers are expiring and they're talking about having to send out having to revalue properties, and they're already talking down prices. But and that is the here and now. But looking outside of the corona virus hit areas, you only have to look at China, which is their transaction levels were rock bottom back in February. There was 22 transactions in February the 18th, and already they're seeing levels of transactions now. They're out of this process back up to levels with the previous to back in November and December. So I think where we are, we're in a position of stall. Those who absolutely need to sell now are going to suffer, but those who can wait for several more weeks, I think the rebound, I think the word was used, bounce back ability. And my thoughts are that we're just going to be stalled for the next 3 to 4 months maximum. But we'll soon see prices, particularly in Birmingham where we are. I think I'll be interested on Sammy's thoughts on this. With the impact of HS2, we've got an area that's probably going to be a little bit less hard hit.
Sammy?
Yeah, obviously Birmingham's been growing for a couple of years now with the talk of HS2 and big businesses coming to central Birmingham and setting up shop here. I totally agree with what Ian said there. It's going to be like a V, so it will drop right down, ping right back up as soon as the doors are open for all the estate agents. Viewings will start happening again. And I don't necessarily, where we are in Harborne, they don't really get hit as hard as the rest of Birmingham. We've got the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, we've got universities, we've got a constant supply of people. But on whole, I think there will be a slight drop in the property prices, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as 33%. The last recession, I think, averaged around 16 or 15%, and that was quite bad. I don't think we're going to be anywhere near as bad as that. I don't think the banks are in a better position as what they were back then. So I can't see it being, but like they just seem to spread doom and gloom. I don't know why, but that's what it seems to be.
I think they love commenting on it, and I think you only have to look at petrol prices as a good indicator here, guys. No one's using petrol, so prices are plummeted, and at the moment people just can't get out of houses. So why would the property market be any different to other consumables? So petrol's plummeted down to the lowest level it's been for many years, and house prices are going to do the same. And then when the tap gets turned back on again, it will recover.
I'd love to say petrol prices are the lowest they've been in my lifetime, but I'm a little bit too old for that. So, Dave,
we can edit that bit out, Phil.
Obviously, Dave, financial point of view, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of cover off, guys, I don't know all of you, but my background as well, I'm a financial advisor, but I'm not a conventional financial advisor. I've got a property portfolio as well, big fan of property. And you obviously, I think there'll be winners and losers with it. There'll be winners and losers with people, with investors, with the residential market where people are buying for a place to live. But there'll always winners and losers, and it is that supply and demand. And I think the longer we are in isolation, and the deeper the financial recession goes, the deeper we get into that space, the longer it will take to recover. I agree with Ian and Sammy. It will bounce back because the winners in the marketplace will have capacity. They'll have the resource in their pocket to go and buy. And there's always going to be property on the market, and there's always going to be winners and losers. But there will be, unfortunately, I think, business owners I'm dealing with some business owners are unfortunately going to suffer some really bad times and may even lose their business. And if they're an investor as well, they then drop out of the marketplace because they haven't got the resource to continue and do what they were doing. But if you've got seasoned investors who hold their property in the right way, and they've got resource and they've got cash, there's going to be some massive bargains out there, I think.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'm an analyst as well as an influencer. So I talk to a lot of the CEOs, corporates, independents, and also people in the tech space. We're going to have about 650,000 completions this year, if we're lucky, as compared to usually 1 million, 1.1. So yes, there's going to be less transactions going through. But I think it'll be a very strong market when we come out the other side. I think there's going to be less sales, less deals, purely because you can't transact when you can't get into people's houses. But I think September onwards, prices, I don't see a fundamental drop in prices. I mean, in 2008, the banks stopped lending. I don't think the banks are going to stop lending when we come out of this crisis at the moment. And in fact, new homes at the moment, reservations where people can buy a new home online, reserve. I know several companies are doing an amazing amount of new sales as we speak. So I would say that the market is healthy for those who can buy at this time.
So if you are a buyer and seller at the moment, what can they be doing right now in order to, obviously, if they're needing to sell, that's obviously key. But I suppose one of the things, if they're looking at selling, but they realise it's not going to sell over the next few months, but what can they start to put into place right now, or even normally? What tips would you normally give on that kind of start of the process? So, Stuart, over to you.
That's good.
Well, just to cut back on what you were saying before, funnily enough, we're seeing the same level of auction transactions, same level of remortgage transactions, same level of transfer of equity transactions, and albeit a dip on new build, there's still plenty of those going through as well. So a lot of it is transaction type related. So at the moment, there is still business out there, albeit you've got to be a bit diverse in doing a bit of everything, I think. So, there's plenty of business going on. And also, I mean, I've got clients that I haven't heard from for years and years and years, back to the previous recession, going back to 2008, 9, 10. A lot of them have come back out of the woodwork. So I think, as has already been discussed, there will be people that will profiteer from this position. And I'm of exactly the same opinion as everybody else, insofar as the market will come back as good, possibly even stronger. And I particularly think that sort of market, 2 to 3 bedroom houses where people might look to be stuck in flats forever, that kind of thing. They want a garden, so on and so forth. So I really think smaller properties will be the ones that will, really, benefit when the market comes back. And I think that the whole thing will simply hinge on how long we are in lockdown. If we are only in lockdown for another 3 weeks, it is totally different to being in lockdown for another 3 months. If it's only another 3 weeks, I think that most businesses will be able to ride this storm. If it's another 3 months, completely different scenario. So I think, and I think what we always all got to bear in mind is that the economy was fine before this virus hit. It's not like there was mass unemployment. The economy was fine. So I see no reason why the market won't come back to exactly the same extent that it was before, albeit we'd press pause for however many weeks. But going on to the question you asked, Phil, insofar as what can we do, my advice to anybody that's looking to sell is to get your property legally ready. We adopt a process in England whereby we, and particularly with a lot of estate agents, we don't do anything until they've sold the property in terms of its legal context. So client waits all that time, gets a buyer, and then we burden the client by sending them sort of 3, 4, 5 forms that are 10 pages each long. My advice is let's get them legally ready now while they've got the time to fill out these forms. We operate something called a fast move scheme, whereby simply the client puts the property in the market. We send them all the forms that they'll need to complete at that point, gives them the time and leisure to go over the forms. We then get those back. We'll download a copy of the title from the land registry. we'll put together a pack so that when the property has been sold, we can deliver that pack there and then, virtually immediately, to a buyer's lawyer. We can also have a look through that pack. If they've had an extension, they've not got planning permission, we can call in that documentation knowing that it will be needed in a month's time.
I think one of the biggest things that's going to come out of this.
Key points there, Stuart. Sorry, Phil. Yeah, but a lot of people, we're being contacted, and I know Sammy is as well. I mean, people are still interested. I think as we turn this the corner of where we are, I think we can all probably agree we're at the turning point. And now we're talking about we've spent time informing our clients. So all we've been doing is informing people, getting people to understand where people are and how people are transacting. Now it's engagement time. Now for us, it's about, okay, get ourselves on the front foot and get ourselves ready to build that pipeline of activity. And we're getting contacted by vendors or landlords who are looking to prepare to put their property back on the market. And they just want to know when the right time is. No, it's it's all unprecedented, but we're just sort of gauging interest. People are like our agents. We're still transacting, but it's just at a lower level. But all we're doing is getting people ready. And Stuart's made a great point. Legal work, get that done and get it underway now. Get your property ready. Talking about preparing your property and make it look clean and tidy. You're spending more time than ever in your house and your gardens. Everybody who's got a garden's probably not had a garden looking as nice as it ever has right now. So just spend a bit of time getting it prepared, and there'll be a load of people who we're just waiting to unhook that gate and let all of these people who are genuinely waiting to get their property out there. So it's exciting times, I'm telling you.
Michael, what's your thoughts? Because obviously, there's a lot that people have been able to do before this happened in order to sort of start looking for property. But obviously, the mortgage element at the moment is a bit of a minefield. So, what are you seeing in the mortgage market? What can they do? What can't they do? What should they be doing, even if they can't move forward?
I think, people can still move forward because lenders out there who are doing automated valuations, doing desktop valuations. So, if they've previously they've seen a house and they like it, they can still go ahead and move ahead with the transaction. But whether they'll be able to complete on the legal side of things, for Stuart to take up there. So as lenders still want to lend money, but deposit is obviously key, as it has been for the last few years anyway. So for automated valuations, you're talking at least 15%. It's the big lenders now who are not quite cleaning up, because nobody's cleaning up. As you've all said, we're on a sort of sticking point in the moment. But the smaller lenders have disappeared or just stopped lending completely, whereas HSBC, Nationwide, Halifax, the major players who've got the reserves there and have also got the infrastructure to be able to say, we can do an automated valuation on this. We're confident that that house is okay. So there's still things going through. The people who've had to take a sort of a step back, as it were, because they've been out viewing and now they can't, obviously, as obviously Ian and Sammy can sort of, confirm as well. Just save. I know it's a boring old trope with properties, but save more money. Save as much as you can. We're not going out socializing. We're not spending money at restaurants on clothing and doing stuff. So save your money. Get yourself in a good position. If you've got any debts, overpay them a wee bit if you've got spare money. But just hang on, because as I think all of us have said, it'll bounce back, because there's a lot of people out there wanting to buy houses. The negative Nellies, I almost said a swear word there, the negative Nellies of the world, which is a very British thing to do, doom and gloom, I think the market will be really strong. It just depends, again, on the length of lockdown. I don't see it only being 3 weeks. I'm sorry, that's not being me. I'm not being negative. I'm just being sensible. I think we'll be locked down for at least another 6 weeks, but I don't know. To quote Donald Trump, I'm not a doctor. It will come back strongly, because that's, people in Britain like property investment. I had to tell one of my portfolio clients to not buy any more houses a couple of weeks ago. He viewed a lot and he was ready, and I said, look, the prices are likely to take a wee dip just because of all the mortgage brokers I was speaking to. they're either saying there's going to be a massive crash, you know, an awful recession, or things will just go down a wee bit, or things will just stagnate. So therefore, don't start spending your money. Wait until we come out of it, and there should be some bargains to be had. In fact, I've just had an email come through there. HSBC cuts rates. Great. So I'm probably getting between 10 and 20 lender emails a day, which is super.
Michael, did you get that? Did you time that? Did you actually get them to send you that live?
Well, I was speaking like Andrew speaks to all the CEOs. So do I, because I'm a lowly mortgage broker. So I was saying, oh, CEO of HSBC, ping me an email that looked quite cool. They're changing sort of their criteria, their rates, their policy nigh on every day. And so it's an interesting time to be a mortgage broker, but we'll come out of it.
You mentioned something just obviously that people are still wanting to buy, people are still keen. There's been a lot of talk on all of the chats around Facebook groups, or in property stuff with Sammy and Ian, and LinkedIn groups around the property stuff. People are still asking the basic question: can I still do viewings? Can I do inspections? Who shall I go to first? Sam is smiling the most because he's actually.
Go on, Sammy.
We get some silly questions on those Facebook groups. Someone asked another silly question yesterday. Another agent was asking them to drop keys off to their office so they can let someone into a house. And it's like, why do you need to answer these questions? Do not leave the house unless it's essential work. If you've got like the consultant of the QE looking to get a house in Harborne tomorrow, you might consider it because they need their frontline workers. You might consider it. But you're not going to go and let Mr. Smith into a house down the road. No way. It's my health, my life. And I wouldn't even do the viewing anyway. It'd be my team. So I'm not putting their lives at risk and their family. So at the moment, it's no viewings, virtual evaluations. Everything's online. And in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever it is, yes, we'll open the doors and start doing viewings. I also heard yesterday and this morning that estate agents will be the first companies to open the doors or be allowed to. So we're going to be on the front line doing viewings, but we can do it distantly anyway. We can just not go anywhere near them on a viewing. It's not that complicated. Just let them into the house. But my stance is no viewings at the moment and no contact with anyone, and don't leave the house unless it's essential, like you have to go and see a property because there's a fire or something serious like that. I wouldn't be doing anything else but that, really. So that's my stance.
Ian, you've had a conversation with yourself and obviously one of your lettings staff, and they were doing virtual inspections, which is obviously the stuff you do for your management. So how are you doing that?
Well, it's a good way for us to engage with our tenants anyway, because so we've been doing the communication phase for the last 4 weeks, but by remote calls, and one of my team allowing tenants to book their appointments for when they get a video call from our staff, and then people just do a little property video walkthrough for us, and we ask them to show us the relevant areas, so the alarms, the smoke alarms, the boilers, fuse boards, and it allows us to just get that insight to make it, and also it just helps us engage with the tenant, asking if they're okay. But as Sammy said, you know, we've got people out there who are preparing their property. We've had vendors sending us their videos, and it's an easy format. They just send the video in. They don't have to talk. We do the talk over bit because it's easy to edit through various things. And but the video, look, it's going to play a role going forward. Our business is changing, and most of this stuff that we're engaging with will carry on being very much a part of our business strategy going forward. So remote property inspections. Why go out and visit a property every 6 months when you can go there once a year? But the other time you just make contact by video link, and you get a tour around the property anyway. So
Can I just say one thing? Or touch on what you said there. So we've always recorded a video of the houses because we get a lot of international students who aren't in the UK who want to see them. So a very basic WhatsApp video, we record it and then we save it on WhatsApp and send it out to the customers. But now we're stepping it up, and Zoopla now lists their virtual tours for lettings on their website, and my own website can list the videos as well. All I've got to do is put the video onto YouTube now, put the link into my CRM, and it goes and it pings off to the other platforms like On the Market, website, and Zoopla. Obviously, we left Rightmove, but it's working really well. Like, you will save time. You'll save time because if you just say, "Look, we'll look at the video first. If you don't like it, we won't show you." and then instead of doing 10 viewings, you might do one, and you're going to save time, save money, and make more money because you'll be wasting less petrol, and your guy, the neg, can actually do more because
it's quality, isn't it, Sammy?
Yeah,
so you know
exactly.
You're going to screen out people who are going to look at the video and go, actually, yeah, probably not for me. And as an agent, that's what we want, isn't it? We want quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Just to jump in there, if I may. So one of my CEO friends, he's got about 150 branches, and I spoke to him 2.5 weeks ago. So it was just when we sort of had a lockdown, and I said, "How's it going?" And he said, "Oh, not too bad. One of the branches, they listed 5 this week, and they did some sales." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I was amazed that he'd taken anything to the market. And he said, "Yeah, we did virtual market appraisal. We contacted them. We got them to do a tour of their property. We'd sold it a couple of times over the last 10 years. We knew the people, and then we took it on the market." And I said, "Okay." And he said exactly the point someone's just made. Coming out of this, he said, "We're definitely going to do some virtual market appraisals on certain types of houses, blocks of flats, 2-bed semis." He said, because over 150 branches, if you think about the time and money saved, and he says, there's nothing you can't do on a video conference call, having looked at the property, spoken to the people. He said, because basically, you don't go and value property anymore. The owners know, you know what the value is. You need to be in their sitting room to entice them to use your services. You can do that over a video conference. It's different if it's a big mansion in six acres. And he said, yeah, and the other thing he said was, what this pandemic has done, there's many things that I'd like to change about my business, and now I can. I can start again whenever it is in September and just say, okay, do we need all these people in all the offices all the time, or can they be at home? And I said, hallelujah. He said, I can cut my cost base. And also the general public, they like to communicate with people. And we've realized digitally, and that's kind of a space that I'm in. And I'm thinking, hallelujah, your buyers are on their mobile phones all the time. They're not in your offices. And this is really what's come across. So
let's face it, Andrew, Andrew, everybody now who maybe was a little bit hesitant of doing this sort of thing, now is just to keep in contact with their grandchildren or kids, have had to learn this new stuff. They're ready, they're happy to engage in this way now because they're more comfortable. They've had to do it, and this will become the norm.
So I think the last thing is for just to wrap this up. So if everyone has maybe 1 or 2 things that they think that agents or solicitors or mortgage advisors or financial advisors, what are the 2 things that everyone would take out of this call, or would they advise on other agents or other professionals in their industry to jump on board with for when they come out of this? Because as everyone said, we don't know how long we're going to be in this for, but at some point we're going to come out of this. What are the things that you're working on or you've seen that will be adapted moving forward? Or
mine's going to get the gold. Mine's going to get a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge behind me. I've got it. I'm all over that.
He's actually
You're
there.
welcome. You're welcome, man.
Andrew?
Yeah. So social media and branding. You talk, Phil, about when we come out of it. The most important thing at the moment is to let everyone know you're still around now. We've been talking huge amount. As people will know, there's the portal wars. There's Rightmove and other brands and agents saying, "Oh, we want to boycott this." And I think agents thought that by being on property portals, that was their brand. They're now realizing that social media is so important, and it's cheap, and it's effective, and it gets through to lots of people. And people are on social media 3.5 hours a day, or I'm probably on it 10 hours a day. It's a bit sad. So if the biggest thing I would say is, if you're an estate agent, now is a great time to learn about social media and how to get your brand out there, because you've got plenty of time. Google it if you don't know anything about it. Within 2 days, you'll have an idea. Within a week, you'll be pretty good at it. And within a month, you'll be a genius. And when you come back, and I think it'll probably be September, people will know your brand. There'll be people out there who will have engaged with your brand, know what you're all about, and that'll have cost you very little money. And now is a great time to do that.
Do it.
I mean, for me personally, it's all about realizing that this is you know, we're on pause effectively at the moment, and I think the market will come back. So as I'm already repeating what I've said earlier, but you know, get that property decorated, get that garden ready, so that when the market does come back, you're ready to capitalise on it and sell quickly. Because you know the legal process is antiquated. Okay, there is certain things that we do in a certain order that unfortunately we have to abide by. So let's get all that started when they put the property on the market, i.e. the clients, not when we've gone through all this, waited all this amount of time, they've put the property in the market, they eventually find a buyer, and then we're going to go and ask everybody for their ID, and then we're going to go and ask them to fill out these forms. Let's get all that information collated now whilst we've got the time, so that when things do pick up, we're ready to go quickly, and it's reduced the time frames of these transactions. 3 months for something to exchange and complete, far too long in the modern era with all this technology. So let's change the way we do things. Let's learn, get it done quicker.
Ian?
Well, for me, I'm looking at, Andrew mentioned there about the brand and the social media element, and that's something that we've not really touched upon much at all in 20 years, but we've absolutely recognised, certainly over the last 18 months, so I need more staff to help me with this. So I'm, you know, we're extremely busy as an office, but just to maybe add an extra 1 or 2 members of staff throughout our business to get that engagement and get the message across and the stories that we want to be telling for clients, and getting that relationship slightly differently. So we're changing our business to a degree. We're improving our efficiency, so with the technology that we've taken on board, but just to engage a little bit more on social media.
You're on mute, mate.
Dave, over to you. What are you seeing, mate?
I just, like everyone said, I think like majority of the market has paused. It'll come back round. The V and the timing of the V is the bit we don't know about. But I think what it has done, it's forced all of us to work more effectively. We've got to, and that's not only us as professionals, but us as our clients have now positioned themselves to accept that and to be interacted in that way. So I think when we come out of this, the silver lining will be we've got this massive opportunity with technology to interact with clients. Example for me, I did a review meeting with a client of mine, business owner up in Liverpool. Usually it would take me 2.5 hours to drive there, an hour and a half to drink coffee and talk to them about their investments, and 2.5 hours to drive back. I had a 45-minute Zoom call with them. So I think that permeates through the industry, will permeate through the professions, and I think we'll be a lot stronger and a lot more effective when we come out the other side.
Michael?
Almost echoing David's comments, well, everyone's comments really. I don't want to blow smoke up anyone's bottom, but Sammy's social media presence is really good. He does some really good sort of small, short videos just regarding the property trade and stuff like that, which are useful to watch. I've been a fairly, I was going to say remote broker. That sounds really odd. Health-wise, I can't drive everywhere because I suffer. So I do a lot of, WhatsApps and Skype meetings and phone meetings. So it's not a massive change there. I suppose the biggest change is my 3-year-old daughter walking in the middle of a meeting. She did earlier. God bless her cotton socks.
But that's real now. That's real life now. So
that's it. People are finding that out because I work from home, and what has changed is my kids are here all the time now. Buggers. But I think you've got to make sure I'm keeping in touch with my clients. I'm phoning them. I'm emailing, texting, and trying to put the positive spin on it. And making sure they're okay. Because just that 1 or 2 phone we always said you have to touch your clients, obviously not literally, but try and speak to touch at least 10 clients each day so they know you're still about. Because as you said, Andrew, as well, when we come out of this, they're going to be looking for people. You want to be at the forefront of their mind rather than, money supermarket or what have you. Just you need to be maintaining that presence in their lives through a fairly odd time for everyone.
Danny, over to you.
So a couple of things have come from this really. firstly, this morning we had our Zoom call with the team, and we've decided that when we go back, we're probably going to give one person work from home every week because it works. The property managers, the social media managers, the tenancy managers, all of them seem to be able to work fine, do their job from home. So that's one massive thing. Also, automation. More automation is going to come into my business. We've already signed to a good platform. We're working and putting data into that to make it work a lot better for our business. And then finally, the community, like genuinely, my road, my high street, everyone is being a lot more friendly. And I think that's just going to have to stick. Like, we can't go back to not talking to our neighbours. We've got to stay friendly with everyone that we've been friendly with. And the people that do good things right now will be remembered. And I hope that resonates throughout the whole of the country, and everyone just likes everyone for once instead of just like not looking and not talking to them. That's what I want to spread.
Guys, it's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for everyone's input. And hopefully we'll do this again very soon. Yeah, cheers guys. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Take
Take
care,
care,
have a
guys.
good day.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.